Welcome to the Incorrigible Party. We're here with Chris Renshaw, who's going to lead us through what I guess you would call it a work in progress here currently.
Yeah, this will be the first time on a podcast. This will even be before we play it on our show, but...
Well,
Wow.
well, I don't know.
Ooh.
It may take us a while to release. Well, who knows? Let's not hold us to that one. But well, why don't you explain who you are, in fact, and then what exactly you're going to run us through?
Hi, so I am Chris Renshaw. I run the worst RPG actual play on the face of the earth called the Dirtbags of Holding. And I say worse in both the fact that we do not release regularly, and also it's because our tagline is we play the best games in the worst way possible. Something I'm sure y'all cannot relate to at all.
No,
You're far too humble, Chris.
So it's also just a part of I do a board game show called Boards and Swords, and this whole thing started out as a Patreon thing because we were trying to figure out what to do for patrons and all of our tiers and stuff. And one of the things that we had talked about is an RPG, because Colin and Cindy, our other two hosts, don't play RPGs. And Cindy said that she would only play an RPG if she could be a cat. And that was like the spawn of everything. So it started off as like cats in space. And then I was sitting around one day and I'm friends with Calvin Wong on Twitter. And I was like, he's really good at this and he loves cats too. So I sent him a message and was just like, hey, I'm working on an RPG setting. It's cats, and it's basically Firefly, but with cats. And he's like, I'm in.
Firefly with cats.
That was like one night, and literally the next morning at like 7:00 when I woke up, I had a piece of fiction in my inbox waiting for me, and it was just like, yes, it was nailed it. And in fact, I'll read it when we get started, but.
He seems like he's pretty good he's a creative guy.
Oh yeah, that was why I was like, me and him have been talking about working on stuff together for a while, and it was just, this was like the both thing. We're like, yes, we're doing this.
Tell us about the game. Like, what kind of system is it?
So the game is based on Blades in the Dark, which is a game from Evil Hat Publishing. It was written by John Harper. It's basically a hack of Powered by the Apocalypse, if you've ever heard of that. It's a popular thing for a lot of games. But what it is, the Blades in the Dark is a game about running heists. And going along with the Firefly theme, I figured it would work really well. Not only that, but it's also based only around D6s. And in the sense of trying to get more people to play RPGs, I figured having a game that I like, you just need like a handful of D6s and there's not really a lot of prep time, that would be perfect for that. So at this point, it's mainly just Blades in the Dark with just like, here's a little bit of fiction on top of what we're doing instead. So it's still very much in progress. And in fact, if I have to make a call on the spot about something, be like, that's interesting. And then I write it down just to remember for later.
We are guinea cats.
Yes.
That's right. All right, I'm excited. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. So actually, what I will do is I will actually read you the piece of fiction that Calvin sent me because it perfectly encapsulates the theme of the game. Yep, perfectly.
There's gonna be so many puns.
Oh, that's the best part. The puns are the best part. So
what's our rating here? PG?
I mean.
We gotta establish it for us.
Rated R cats.
It's going out on the normal feed, so like our normal feed rating probably.
PG-13.
Okay.
Try to avoid F-bombs.
Yeah.
Go bleep out the F-bombs.
Okay.
Fur balls?
The hairballs. Yeah. We're gonna bleep it out instead of like the computer bleep, it'll be like
Oh, don't put
It's
that
just
on
like
me.
a hiss. It's like,
what the are you doing?
if you need audio samples, I have like 5 cats. I can get an assortment of different sounds. So you can vary
just
it up.
poking the cats. Yes.
This is how I knew we were onto something because, like I said, I had this backstory waiting for me the next day, and I feel like I wrote it in my sleep because it was just the same kind of thinking I was thinking of. So here we go. In the long before times, there was a home colony. We don't know where they is, although we really, really tried to look for it. Ask anyone at Astrofaring or Spacewatch. Dozens of years. But in those before times, and remember this was the very long before, they sent ships out into the star black. You, me, everyone who's listening, we was on one of those shippies. And that ship landed here on Main Colony. And many thousands of us came out of the What do you mean, where's the ship? You're sitting in it. Stop interrupt before I forget story. Main Colony is here. We came out, our mother and father cats, and we knew the purpose. Build the towers, grow the food. Tell Home Colony where we is, so Home Colony can send more cats with more shippies to help. But then the star black changed. Spacewatch cats saw it happen. All the stars moved like little fireflies, dark here, dark there, then suddenly whole sky has changed. And although we are all okay, we can no longer find Home Colony. I said questions later. Whatever has happened, we cats here on the Main are okie dokie. We had the star picks from back then. We have the towers and the food and many planets to live on. For many dozen lifetimes, we have lived on Main and searched for home. One day, maybe we will find the matching star picks and we can tell home that we are okie dokie and all of you, me, and us can go see our mother-father cats from the long time ago. For now, we improve astrofaring, go into Ino or Jupit, have adventure, maybe run into a huge teeth, 6 legs, come home Main, tell big story, all laugh. But we as home cats, not Main cats, never forget, one day we go home, not today, maybe not next year, but one day.
Do we have to talk like that?
That is, so we actually had a long discussion about this, and what we're saying is it's up to you.
I think it'd be difficult.
You just take out the and
just say is.
And say, yeah.
I already okie dokie all the time. So.
Yeah, I do too. That goes right in. Yeah.
We're saying that like the lolcat speak is basically like the Queen's English, if you will.
I is home cat.
So, yeah, in this game, if you just picture all the people I'm assuming everyone here has at least seen Firefly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh yeah.
So if you picture most of the main classes or playbooks, as it's called in these types of games, is based on one of the crew from Firefly. So you got your captain character, who is the Hightail character. Then you've got your rugged, muscle type character, who is called a Pouncer. And then your assassin, which is called a Whisper. And then a medic, which is called the Patcher. Your pilot, which is a Stick. That's what it's called. And then your mechanic is a Wrenchy.
I like them.
Yeah, me too.
A Renshaw.
So Emily and I just sort of split the character sheets you gave, and I chose they gave us, and I chose the 3 that I thought would be the Whisper, the Wrenchy, or the Stick.
Okay.
Were my 3 choices. So if any of you guys want one of those.
So first, I feel like in the games, the couple of tests I've had, we probably should pick a captain first, because it usually ends up being last, and it becomes really weird because like no one really wants to pick it. So I feel like setting that first is kind of helpful.
All right, who wants to be the captain? I'm out.
I was gonna say I think John would make a great captain. But he's like, I'm out.
I vote Leland.
All right, I'll be the
captain,
Hightail.
my captain.
Sorry, Chris.
Yes.
Which one did you say was the Pouncer? Is that the muscle?
That's a muscle.
Is that what you?
All right, I am the Hightail.
Oh, that's a good role for you. I think
Boom.
That's a good one. Boom, baby.
Okay, is there a second that?
No, it's just usually after the captain, it's everybody else kind of has
good.
ideas, but
No one else matters after the captain.
Well, John and
Let's
Emily,
see how
you
far
split
you
your
get on
sheets
that.
up, so pick one of your 3 each, and then
All right.
Bill and I will pick extras, I guess. Yeah.
I think of the 3 that I picked, I'd either want to do the assassin or the pilot. So maybe I'll just go pilot.
Yeah, you go
Oh,
pilot.
yeah, you can be my number 2.
There you go.
I have the Pouncer or the Patcher.
I want Emily to be the bouncer.
You want me to be Pouncer? Bill, is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be really cool to have a girl be the pouncer.
Yeah.
Bill, you pick. I'll go last.
I like the Wrenchy.
Yeah,
mechanic.
you want to be the mechanic?
Just don't cut your
All
fingers
right,
off.
so medic or assassin? So like real life or Bryn? What are we doing here?
Oh, you
Like,
gotta go Bryn. You gotta
I gotta
be
go
assassin.
assassin?
Yeah.
I gotta be a whisper? Okay.
We don't need no
Alright.
medic.
Yeah, I'm tempted to take the medic out for now because I need to find a better way to make it more entertaining.
Okay, so we'll do assassin. Yeah.
I mean,
Sweet.
heck, we made it through all of chapter 1 without a healer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even chapter 2, I don't do much healing, so.
You know what I found out on my most recent watching of Firefly is that I'm actually referenced in Firefly. If you put
What?
you put subtitles on one of the episode where they're the out of gas where he's showing all the people how they met and stuff, there's like a quick like whip where, and I took a screenshot of it and sent everyone like, Renshaw's trying to get him on his crew, and I was like, yes.
I have a screenshot from my maiden name was on a tombstone in an episode of like, I don't know, something one time. I thought that was cool, but
Ooh.
So Leland's the
I know, I was like, who is
captain,
that?
and
Emily's
M's
muscle.
the muscle.
Gozer.
That makes sense.
Elena's
Yes,
the
actually.
assassin.
Brand.
John, you're the pilot.
It's typical.
Yeah.
And you're the Wrenchy.
We're gonna
Yeah.
let him explain to us, but I want to write our names down too, so don't forget.
Oh yeah, go ahead and think of the best puns or whatever, the cutest names, whatever you can think of. That's actually where Whisper came from, is that was like, we were joking around and the first assassin came up with the name Whisper, and I was like, that's a great idea.
Right.
That's a great name for assassin.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay, so the sheets you have, some of this we're going to pay attention to, some of it, a lot of it you're not. In fact, like there's like heritage and background, you can just ignore all of that.
Okay.
What we are going to focus on now is if you look all the way to the right, there are 3 traits. You have insight, prowess, and resolve, and under each one of those is a set of skills. So basically, insight is all, how do I say? Insight's like mental tasks, prowess is like physical, and resolve is more social-ish, sort of.
Okay.
So these skills are pulled straight from Blades in the Dark, mainly because they're just kind of generic. So when you command, these are an alphabetical-ish here. When you command, you compel swift obedience, so like you intimidate or threaten to get what you want. When you consort, you socialize with friends and family to gain access to resources, information. Finesse, you employ dexterous manipulation or subtle misdirection, like picking someone's pocket, dueling, that sort of thing. When you hunt, you carefully track a target. When you prowl, you traverse skillfully and quietly. When you skirmish, you entangle a target in close combat so they can't escape. When you study, you scrutinize details and interpret evidence. When you survey, you observe the situation and anticipate outcomes. When you sway, you influence with guile, charm, or argument. When you tinker, you fiddle with devices and mechanisms. And when you wreck, you unleash savage force. So the only one I didn't mention is us, because for the longest time we ignored it, was attune, because in Blades in the Dark, it's like you open your mind to the ghost field or other arcane power, because that's the magic-y aspect of it. But recently, Calvin and I talked about this, and we're going to say attune is basically a cat's like sixth sense. So if you're relying kind of on instinct or thinking ahead sort of thing, like how the attune is like how you end up cats land on their feet all the time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Nice.
So our character sheets have pre-filled in some of those skills.
Yes. So some of the skills have been filled in. That's just when you're picking that, you start off as good in that, and then we will add a couple more dots to fill out the sheet some. So what these dots, and this kind of goes into the core of how this system works, which like I mentioned, it revolves around D6s, and basically on a die, a 1 through 3 is a failure. You know, you failed your task. A 4 and a 5 is you succeeded, but there's some sort of difficulty. The situation isn't exactly in your favor, but you did succeed in the task. And then a 6 is a success. If you get multiple 6s, then you've rolled basically like a crit at that point. The way it works is the number of dots that you have is the number of dice that you will roll for a task. So like I have the assassin sheet up. Whenever you're going to prowl, you have 2 dots in it by default. You'll take 2 dice and roll them and take the highest of the roll. If you only have 1 dot, you're stuck with whatever you get. If you have no dots in something, then you roll 2 dice and you take the lowest of the 2.
Okay.
At disadvantage, cool. Yeah.
Now, there's ways to motivate and change this. First of all, if you assist somebody else, that can give them a die. You can also push yourself, which is taking a mechanic called stress, which we'll get into later. That gives you an extra die. Or you can do what's called a devil's bargain, which is basically giving me control of the story a little bit. So I'm going to give you an extra die, but it turns out the person you're facing is the person that killed your mother or something. That's sort of just like twist a little bit in there kind of thing, or your ultimate rival kind of thing.
A mouse, right?
Yeah. That's the general overview of kind of like the skills and the way the system works. So what we're going to do now, though, is my favorite part of character creation is talking about how everyone knows each other. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the captain, and then I'm just going to go around based on what's on my screen for Zoom, and everybody's going to tell a story of either how you met the other person or just some sort of funny / interactive experience with that person, and that'll actually define some of your skills. So I'm going to start with our hightail, Leland, and how did you meet our Renshaw, Bill?
Oh, I've got a good idea.
So I'm assuming you probably own the ship, and so how did you hire, or like I said, does it have to be the how you met? It could be like how you saved him, he saved you, some sort of significant story between just the two of you.
So we probably don't want to go with how Mal met Kaylee.
How did I meet Renshaw? I think I probably needed him to fix something. Maybe I knew him before I had this ship, and we lost touch, or Renshaw was hired onto the ship of one of my rivals, my captaining, my hightail rivals or something, and I was able to maybe court him back to my ship, or I defeated that rival or something like that.
Okay. Or you just offered him a better deal?
Yeah. I was able to get him over here, and then maybe he also brought with us some intel on that rival that rival probably doesn't want getting out.
Okay. So the way that this works is, since for you that was primarily kind of a consort thing. Actually, I should. The one thing I will say is that you can't have more on character creation. You can't have more than 2 dots in something. So I actually have to bring up the captain sheet, because you may have. Okay, so
I have one in consort.
Consort. So add an extra dot into consort.
Okay.
And then it sounds like for Bill, that was kind of a study because he got information to give to you. So Bill gets an extra dot in study.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now, Bill or Renshaw, how did you meet, or what is your big story maybe you tell around the bar of how you met our stick, John?
So, great that John is a pilot, because I was in a lesser traveled area. Lots of trees, forest. I had cleared a bit of an area, and I was growing some catnip. And the authorities caught wind of this. I was surrounded pretty much. Managed to kind of find an opening in all of these folks who were coming to arrest me. And wouldn't you know it, pilot, I don't know, must have just touched down for a short period of time. I stumbled across his ship when I was fleeing, and he was happy to turn a blind eye and let me hop on board and get me out of there.
Okay. So let's give you a dot in prowl there, because you were trying to escape everybody.
Okay.
And then John, let's give you. Actually, I'm going to go off the book. Let's give you a dot in attune, because you just kind of felt like this was the right thing.
Instinctually, even though, yeah. Okay.
All right. So now, John, how did you meet our assassin, Elena?
Well, it's funny that Bill went with the catnip thing, but
Oh, yeah. By the way, catnip is like the most illegal of drugs. Like, that is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I was going with it. Yeah,
Like a poppy field.
I met so Elena's, what is she? The
I'm the Whisper.
Whisper. So we met in a bar, actually, in a cat bar.
Oh yeah.
And
that good milk.
We got to know each other a little bit and had a good time and would share a little bit of catnip under the table here and there. And then, oddly enough, after we sort of didn't see each other for a while, we actually met again at Catnip Anonymous in a group. And
Actually, yeah.
Met at CA.
You were the only one to
CA.
notice she was there.
So after the Catnip Anonymous meeting, we went back and went out to dinner, and of course we enable each other. We fell right back into the bad habits, of course.
Oh, we're back in our bad habits. Okay.
Well, yeah, because we both enable each other. We're not good at helping each other at all.
Okay.
So that's how we met.
Okay. That sounds like
Interesting.
consort for both of y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
Although a case could be made for wreck, but, you know.
Consort.
All right. And then, Elena, how did you meet our muscle, our pouncer, Emily?
Our pouncer. She and I, we've done a few jobs together. I've hired her she's been hired muscle for me. Like, hired muscle lookout while I have done some heisting.
Okay. Is there any one particular heist that stood out in your mind?
I was trying to think of some type of piece of art that has cats in it, or something like cattish, and I can't.
Oh, you could do the American Gothic, but with cats?
I was gonna say the dog's playing poker, but
Oh,
the cat's
yeah.
playing poker.
Yeah, like some type of like high end art heist. Where
Cats playing crokinole.
Yeah.
with cats.
Except for it's a ball of string, right? Instead of the
Yeah,
crocodile
like
disc.
the cat version of the Mona Lisa or something.
Okay. Then let's see. Elena, let's give you a dot in command.
Okay.
And let's see. Emily, let's give you a dot in consort as well.
Okay.
And then let's close the loop. How did you meet the hightail Leland?
I was probably at a bar, and I was probably being a lookout for Elena while she was consorting with John, doing their little under-the-table dealings. And a brawl broke out, and I jumped in and ended up saving Leland from being attacked from behind.
Okay.
That's all I got.
No, it's fine. It's just usually that defaults to wreck, but I think you already have 2 dots in wreck.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you had a sixth sense about the fight, right? You knew.
Yeah, I just happened to turn around just in time to stop
That's a good
Leland
one.
from getting,
Yeah, let's give
getting
you a dot
shanked.
in attune. And Leland, let's give you a dot in survey because you were able to get out of there with minimal scrapes by reading the scene pretty well.
I like it.
So now everybody should have added at least 2 dots at this point.
Yes. Yep.
Now you get 2 free dots that you can put wherever you want.
Oh.
So you should have total of 7 dots when we're all done of filled in stuff. And like I said, you can't add character creation, can't add any above 2.
Interesting.
I'm gonna put my 2 in to attune. I feel like a good sixth sense is pretty important for a captain.
So, and here's the other big thing is I won't tell you what skill to roll. You tell me like how you want to approach a task. Like you'll tell me what you want to do, and I may offer suggestions. Like that sounds like you're consorting with them, and they'd be like, no. And I mean I can help offer suggestions, but ultimately you get to decide how you're approaching a specific conflict, if you want to, or die roll for that sense.
Okay.
Do we want to discuss where we did all of ours, or just?
It does. You can if you think it's funny, but that part doesn't matter as much. So I'm assuming the ship is called the Incorrigible, right?
The Incorrigible, yes.
That makes sense.
Yes, I think I can't wait to call you guys by cat names. This is gonna be fun.
So while you're figuring all that out, what type of how are you guys making your money? Like, are you mostly like doing shipping kind of runs and then the occasional on the side dirty work? Like, on average, what kinds of tasks do you usually find yourself in? And if you do more illicit type things, what types of
Catnip.
I think whatever the ship's doing, I'm there to fly it, but I'm also got the side deal of delivering catnip
Yeah,
to
you
different
would.
places. So
You would. Catnip dealer.
yeah.
Well, there's no shady dealings that go on the ship that I'm not part of.
Okay.
So if you got the
we're in
hookups,
cahoots.
we can make an arrangement.
So is there like is there a secret like panel you remove and there's actually you're growing it like hydroponic style?
Yes.
I thought we had a way to track and find these fields, like when I met Bill.
I mean, there's that
Ooh.
too. You could grow your own stash. That's
This
just
is
for
like-
you.
This is
His
the best
personal stash.
Oh, yeah,
indica
we have a
strains, that.
Yeah, the captain and I have a room that's locked that nobody else has access to, where we do our personal stash. And
Do you guys also make moonshine? Do you make like a cat milk moonshine?
Oh yeah, cream is definitely your alcohol in this universe.
Cream. Yeah. That heavy cream, that heavy cream. That
That's
high
right.
proof. I for sure I know people everywhere and have, like the lowdown on, hey, like what kind of jobs are available right now, right? Like anywhere we travel.
What it sounds like is I'm hearing that y'all get hired a lot
terrible.
for hit and runs kind of on competitors' fields. So like Conglomerate A is like they're growing some really fine stuff over in Conglomerate B. It'd be really nice if we could get their
But that's on the down low. There's a front too, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
We're
but
legitimate
the
business on
legitimate
the front.
business only covers like so much of the bills.
Oh,
I feel like
right.
that's
What's-
just your
what's the
shipping
front?
cargo.
We do that
Are we
as a
shipping
loss,
cat
actually.
food? Is that like our
Yeah,
front or something?
we need to be a courier service of some sort.
I like it.
Are we shipping cat food or are we shipping like
It's just
feathers
you
on
could
a
be
string?
the cat version of Planet Express, and you're just
I was just
delivering
going to say,
whatever.
we're the Incorrigible Express, is what the ship's called.
There you go. I like it.
we ship cat toys like wind up mice to play with. And,
We ship whatever you have, no questions asked.
Ooh. And you definitely are the muscle behind all that reinforcement.
Everything comes in a white paper box,
Unmarked,
Doesn't
yeah,
have anything-
everything-
unmarked. So,
Oh, I feel like there's a coded system. Like, if it says like cat toys, then it's like explosives, or
Ooh.
oh, there you go.
like there's the.
I kind of feel. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I kind of feel like our mechanic could maybe even be a bomb maker. Like he's making special orders with some of the products.
Wow, we
I
just
don't- I
become
don't-
terrorists or what?
Yeah, there's a line between a drug dealer and
I was
terrorist.
more comfortable with the drugs.
Yeah, let's
I'm just trying to
Let's
get
just stick with
mechanics
good old
into the
drugs.
mix. Okay, all right.
Somebody's got to work those hydroponic machines.
Yeah,
Does
he's
that
the
make
one
me
to
a
set up the whole
psychopath?
watering
No, I'm just
system.
kidding. This is what I kept
That
asking
is not what
last
makes you a
night.
psychopath.
I kept asking last night, what makes me a psychopath? All right, well, interesting. We're all bad for once. No one's pretending to be good. Great. Perfect.
Well, no, you're all pretending to be good.
Sure.
yeah. There's levels of
But
bad.
not to
We're
the
just
listener.
Sort of bad.
But yeah. The listeners in the know.
Right. Okay. So now I'm going to take my convenient bathroom break as I figure out the story. And then when I come back, I'm going to hear everybody's character names.
What we look like.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no mechanical sense in like what your character looks like, that sort of thing. It's just how you imagine,
Yeah.
your
Oh, yeah.
cat to be.
We gotta add some flavor.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the skinless Dr. Evil cat?
Oh,
Hairless, you mean?
What if Emily, our muscle, was this like skinny, hairless cat? She's gonna be a tiger. She should be a tiger, man. Come on, straight up.
I was going to wear my boards and swords shirt today, and then I realized I didn't have one. So I had to order one.
Oh, so you're the one that ordered one. I saw.
That was me. I also ordered a fudge muffin shirt.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, don't give away my name.
That wasn't giving away your name. I ordered a fudge muffin shirt because I made a fudge muffin, which everybody here except for Chris knows about.
I made a fudge muffin. Okay.
I mean, I just flushed one.
Oh my goodness. That was quick. Did you wash your hands?
You don't have to wash your hands if you're quarantining.
That's right.
That's the whole point of quarantining.
Who else is touching? Who else am I touching?
And then Chris digs into some finger food.
Oh, sick. I mean,
Popcorn or some
Please help
wings,
yourself to
licking
this
his
bowl of
fingers.
peanuts.
as cats, can we even wipe ourselves? Probably not.
I
Cats
don't think
wipe.
poo doesn't stick to cat fur.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
it does.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
it sticks,
yes,
does.
it very.
Hello.
As someone who had to just clean the back end of my very fat cat that can't do it herself last
no.
night, literally.
Yeah, we've been there.
Can someone just name their cat Fat Cat, please? But no, like our puppies are pooping on Frankie's like face and stuff. It's difficult. I've had to cut it out most of the time. It's the consistency of toothpaste because you just wipe it and it's yellow and it
Tell me
stains.
more. Please.
Jeez.
We have 2-week-old puppies. Well, they're almost 2-week-old. You know what? I should have just been the medic. I could talk about the most disgusting
No.
human cat body things.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
I like
Glad you're
making
not the
people
medic.
feel uncomfortable. It's kind of fun sometimes, all right? Sue me. All right. I'm ready
Does
to write down
everybody
everyone's-
have a name?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I'll start with mine since we already sort of mentioned it. I'm
You
going to be
mentioned it. You're the one that spoiled that, not me.
Fudge Muffin the Third.
Oh.
Because that's an inside thing. And my alias is Pursnips. That's what they asked me for in the bars. Do you have any pursnips? Or you know how I can get a hold of some pursnips?
I feel like that just gets shortened to snips sometime, and every time you're like, no, it's
Snips, I like
purse
it.
snips.
That's right. I like it.
And you can have an alias if you want, if it's too much to think of a name and an alias, because I have a hard enough time with one name, let alone two.
You got to have one when you're in the biz.
Right.
Oh,
You
well,
said it-
thanks for letting us know, and now I have to think of an alias.
No, you don't have to. You could just have your name be your alias if you wanted to,
Ooh.
or just have a name and not an alias. Either way.
So you're Fudge Muffin the Third, and your alias or your nickname is Pursnips.
Yep.
So what do we
Okay.
call you?
You would call me Fudge Muffin.
Okay.
Yeah. FM, if you will.
Only my friends call me Pursnips.
Yeah, only my acquaintances, my part-time friends call
Yeah,
me
my
Pursnips.
industry friends.
That's his internet handle.
That's right.
At,
My CV handle.
At Pursnips. Yeah. Emily, what's yours?
My name is Momo. Just Momo. It's actually because that's what we called our cat. I miss my cat.
Oh.
Jeez, now
Oh,
I'm just bringing-
fudge muffin.
Bringing it down.
Do either of you have descriptions of yourselves?
Yeah.
I'm a tortoiseshell. So
I don't know
like,
what that means, but
and
cool.
like, okay, so it's kind of 3-4 colors all mixed together, all blotchy, but like half my
Oh.
face is golden. Like it'll go like straight down my face, but my eye's still black. Both eyes are black, but half my face is.
And
like,
are you
golden.
like ripped muscle?
Of course.
Yeah.
Her muscles have muscles.
As a cat, what do you do to work out to get those muscles?
bench press other cats.
I'm just a dark brown cat with black eyes.
Ah.
Droopy.
You come by your name honestly then.
That's right.
I just picture Momo like, you know those cat condos and stuff? She's like running up and down it like a ninja warrior working out. Like,
Yeah, that's why I just pounce all over the deck of the ship. Like I'm picturing it being 2 floors.
She's doing
in the
pull-ups.
inside.
Or starting bar fights. I feel like she's like, man, I need to burn off some calories, and just like slams the nearest person.
Yeah. Or like any little thing will set me off. Hair trigger.
Okay, air trigger.
so,
Noted.
so what is the dignified name of our captain?
I am Gundar Baskop. Is of course just a
I thought you were
recycled
joking.
NPC name. No, I'm being Gundar.
That's hilarious.
He's very dignified. He's like got like tabby coloring, never wears a shirt, but he always has on really, really fancy pants.
Fancy Pants Gundar.
That's Captain Fancy Pants to you.
Oh, sorry, Captain. Captain Fancy Pants. My cat's name is Beans. And she goes by Beans, Beanie, Beanie Baby, Boo Boo, whatever. It's just names I call Frankie, my dog, because Frank and Beans. So Frankie Beans. Call me Beans. I am I'm not fat. I'm not a fat lazy cat. I'm a little,
Chonky?
lean. No, I'm a lean, like all black, yellow eyes. All black, stealth styles. So at night, all you would see is like my yellow green eyes glowing.
Sorry, that just reminded me of a fun story. Earlier this week, my stepdaughter sent me a picture of it was like someone had taken their black cat and like photoshopped them into like a circle kind of thing to where it looked like an elder one, like a Cthulhu thing. And she goes, she sends it and then goes, "This look like it'd be something you'd be interested in." And then she looked at the story and I had actually shared it on my Instagram stories. And then she goes, "Oh."
It's like, yeah, I've seen that
At least she knows you.
Yeah.
She knows what you like.
All right, so that leaves just Bill, our Wrenchy.
Yes, so I am Snuffle Uppaket. I also go by Snuffles or Snuffs. I'm a calico, and I'm missing part of one of my ears. It's a long story, but I make do just fine without it. And my coat is not always the most well-maintained.
Right.
It's often a little dirty, that you might find some debris that occasionally falls out.
Except for I feel like you got lines for where your mechanic's jumpsuit is. Like you'll be just like completely dirty and then just like clean for like it's like the like a farmer's tan almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, does Snuff dip into his own product or something? Like, is he kind of a stoner cat? Or
We don't talk about what Snuff does on his spare time.
Okay.
All right. Anything else before we get started?
I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
And that's our show. Be sure to follow us on social media at IncorrigiblePar on Twitter, the Incorrigible Party on Instagram and Facebook. You can visit incorrigibleparty.com for additional world and NPC information. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. For your design needs, visit criticalhitdesign.com. All ambient sounds and music during the episode are courtesy of tabletopaudio.com, and our outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can contact him for your own musical inquiries via email at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Happy adventuring!